All right, study objective 4 is about bonds. There's a lot of reading here about bonds, different types of bonds, all kinds of stuff to deal with describing bonds. But basically, let me just tell you, bonds are another form of debt to a company. It's a way for them to raise money, but it's not by going to a bank. What they do is they offer bonds or these debt securities to the public um, as an investment, and they're offering the public some set interest rate. So what they want the public to do is buy these bonds because they'll be getting an annual recurring interest stream for some period of time, and that's a nice investment for a lot of people who want more conservative investments to get a steady stream of income over time. So people would want to buy them from that perspective. The companies would get a bunch of cash right up front. And then what a company has to do then is record that cash receipt right up front. And we'll see how to do that in a second. Record the liability also. And then as time goes by, they're going to record interest expense and the payments of those interest payments to the investors. So that's basically what bonds are. You can read about the different types of bonds, callable, convertible, see bond certificates. You're going to want to read a little bit about this, determining the market value of bonds. Bonds get kind of complicated. We're not going to go into some of the more complicated issues that arise with bonds in terms of doing too much work with discounts and premiums. You'll see that discussion in this chapter. But basically, the point that I need to bring up to you is that it's going to be in the next click over here. Bonds carry a stated rate of interest that the investors will get, say 6%, and that number is going to be different than the ongoing market rate of interest. So you could go to the bank and you can get some interest rate on a CD or a bank account, or some other comparable type investment or comparable bond, and that bond or that interest rate will be different than the rate that the bond is promising to pay. So if the market rate of interest is 5% and the bond pays 6%, then that bond is better than a typical investment. So customers or investors are going to have to pay more for that bond than the face value of the bond. Say it's a $20,000 bond. The investors will have to pay more than $20,000 for that because they're going to get more interest than the typical market rate of interest would pay. If the interest rate in the market was 8% and these bonds only paid 6%, then no one's going to buy them. They're going to go invest somewhere else unless the bonds are cheaper. So if it's a $20,000 bond, maybe the investor only has to pay $18,000 for it. Then they'll collect interest as if it's a $20,000 bond, and they'll get $20,000 back at the end. So that would be a bond discount. So discounts and premiums you're going to have to understand a little bit about those, at least what they are, and whether a bond would sell at a premium or at a discount, given the scenario that I just told you. I think we'll see more about that when we talk about accounting for bond issuances in the next video.